Hey guys, it's Dragon Ball for Life here today, and I'm back with another video. Now, today's video I'm going to be talking about is Arale canon to the Dragon Ball universe, and is Toribot the god of the Dragon Ball universe? And the reason why I'm making this video was in my Trunks vs. Silver Death Battle video. I forgot what I was talking about that led to this, but apparently there's these two commenters that were having a back and forth comment about Arale and Toribot being the actual god of the Dragon Ball universe, and Zeno never being the most powerful being. And this was from a commenter of mine, Nuclear Waste, which I have commented with him back and forth a bit. Also in this video, he did disagree with my a little bit of my analysis what Trunks and Silver, which I also want to get into that. This video is not just going to be about talking about is Arale canon or Toribot. I want to also talk about a couple of additional stuff. So that's what I mean by and more. So first, let's get into his response in my Silver versus Trunks video. He says, so basically your entire argument is take away their source of power that put them in the death battle. I mean, what's the point? If you take away Reverse Flash's Speed Force, then what's the point of him being in a fight? He obviously loses. If you take away Silver's emeralds and power rings and time stones, then he won't be a match for Zeno Trunks. This isn't even a debunk. This is just changing the entire premise of the fight. Wrong. This is the problem with this argument. He's comparing this to like Reverse Flash, like taking away his Speed Force. That's not true. The Speed Force is literally a power system that is connected to the speedsters like Flash and Reverse Flash and stuff. Also, Reverse Flash uses the opposite of the Speed Force. He uses an anti-Speed Force, so that's incorrect. But yeah, that is natural part of their abilities, whereas the Chaos Emeralds are not. That is where's the difference. I don't get the argument there. That's kind of a dumb argument if I'm being honest, because that is not, those two things are not comparable. What's the thing called? Because the Speed Force is a natural energy source, a part of them, just like Ki is a part of the Dragon Ball character's power set. But the Chaos Emeralds are legit items that are only shown in the Sonic Archie universe, and it is a power system that messes with their universe and their reality, just like Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet. That's not actually his powers. That is items that he uses the powers from that can manipulate his own reality. So that is not at all the same thing. That's what I was trying to get at. He's saying getting rid of the power rings and stuff like that. Power rings and the Chaos Crystals, they're not his actual power sets. Now, if you want to be like, well, they can have their own gadgets like Batman has his utility belt and all the stuff in it. Okay, that's fine. But still, my argument was not get rid of them all. It was, if you're going to have a fight between these two guys, you need to realize that the Chaos Emeralds is not his actual power. This is an additional power that he gets from outside. And this wasn't talking just particularly about this fight, because people usually give Sonic and all these other characters in the Sonic universe these insane high-end feats because like, look at what they're able to accomplish. But my argument is they didn't accomplish those feats through their natural power. They use an outsourced power to give them that power. So those feats would be only through the Chaos Emeralds and Chaos Control, and that wouldn't really matter by the character, because anybody who has control takes the power of the Chaos Emeralds and can, master Chaos Control will have that power. It's not because Sonic is that powerful or, the immortal Mammoth is that powerful. The only reason they're that powerful is the objects that they're using. In their natural, actual powered state, where they don't have that, they're not that powerful. Like Thanos, he's not that powerful when he, the feats that he accomplishes with the Infinity Gauntlets are the Infinity Gauntlets feats, not his. Those are just what he's able to do with that insane amount of power. Same thing with that. And my argument for that video was not saying, oh, that his he can't use it. It's that, well, this power is literally interconnected with the Archie comic universe, so whoever can use that power can manipulate their universe, but that doesn't mean they can manipulate universes that are outside of the Archie Sonic comics I guess cosmology, because they're not connected to it. Because the main story of the Emeralds was they were made by the multiverse, and they have a connection and energy to the Sonic Archie multiverse, but they won't have a connection to the other ones. So just like Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet, they don't work in other universes. Same thing like this. This will not work in possibly other multiverses. That was my only argument. But let's get into the Arale situation. Now, is Arale, canon? And he says, he also says yes, she is. She was in Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super, and then he says that she was in the games, and then the arcade game, which that's a dumb argument to make. Also, the arcade game was like has nothing to do with it, but. Let's get into Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super because she was prevalent in the actual story, but only in Dragon Ball Super. I don't know where he got Dragon Ball Z. She was never shown in Dragon Ball Z. She was shown in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Super, but the way I see it was this was just a nonsensical crossover. Especially in Super, it was one of the filler-ish scenes. I know there's no such thing as filler, but it's filler-ish because let's be honest, nobody's taking the whole baseball scene between them in Super Series or Goku and the one where they're trying to get the wish to make Pan not sick. I mean, Goku literally had his suit to go into the center of the earth because he said he can't survive there, which that's stupid that somebody as powerful as him wouldn't be able to survive that. Those are fillerish episodes and little mini arcs that don't really connect to the actual main story as much unless they're specifically mentioned. So her one, it was more of a gag stuff, and Dragon Ball, they did have her in there, but here's the way I see it. It does seem like more of like Toriyama just doing a crossover, and sometimes crossovers don't really make much sense, they just happen. And he might disagree and say, well, if they were in the story and stuff like that, but here's my reason why I don't believe Arale is a part of the Dragon Ball universe or their universes are connected. Because if their universes were connected and, all the events that were transpiring, why didn't Arale step in when, all the bad shit was happening? Because in the main Trunks timeline, remember, you have Android 17 and 18 destroying their entire place. If Arale was there, she would have been able to easily body 17 and 18 since she's shown to be this ridiculous, gag manga character. So where was she when 17 and 18 were, wreaking havoc in Trunks' future timeline? They were nowhere to be found. Maybe it's because they didn't actually exist in the Dragon Ball universe and they were just in there for some stupid crossover event or whatever. Also, when Frieza destroyed was attacking the Earth, Trunks had to jump. Goku had to wipe him out because in the main timeline he had to come in there, intervene where Trunks didn't. Where was she there when Frieza blew up Earth in Resurrection of F? Where was she? She should have survived the explosion. Or when Majin, like Kid Buu destroyed the Earth, where was she once again? There's so many situations where she should have been there, especially like the Beerus one when we start in the universe. Where was she to be there to stand and fight? But she was never there. Why? Because she's not really canon. She's just put in there for fun and stuff. It's not to be taken too serious. And if you actually look in read the Dr. Slump manga, you would realize that there's no way that their universes can connect. Why? Well, if you look in the Dragon Ball universe, for one, the landscape of the map of Dragon Ball, it is completely fictitious. Like the world is like Pangea, where all the continents were connected. Same thing in Dragon Ball. Everything is all the land masses are connected. Where in in our world, there's massive amount of land masses connected, but a lot of them are disconnected. Like Europe and the Americas are not connected. So Asia and Europe have some connections, but they're also pretty separate. So the Dragon Ball universe is not modeled off of our own. Which some of you guys might ask, well, why is that important? If you actually read the Dr. Slump manga, you would know that their world, their Earth, is actually designed off of our Earth. There is New York there is Chicago there is Paris there is Italy there. The only part of place there that doesn't really exist in our world is Penguin Village. But every other place there does exist. Whereas in Dragon Ball, they have fake ass areas, and it's not even completely designed like our world. It's literally a Pangea. So when you look at the maps of their worlds, they are not compatible. One has our real world areas, the other one has a made up places and areas, and they're all interconnected like in prehistoric Earth. And also, Dr. Slump manga is a gag manga where things are just completely nonsensical. She cracked the sun in half, which doesn't make any sense. It's not like it's a planet. It's not solid material that you can crack in half. Also, their sun literally has a goddamn face on it. Their sun can smile. Their world is really goofy and cartoonish, whereas Dragon Ball might be weird, but it's nowhere near that level. And even though Dragon Ball was a gag manga, it did throughout Dragon Ball, it started to become more serious, and it was only in the beginning. And even then, it was nowhere near the level of Doctor Slump. But yeah, the two worlds, like the designs out of it, are completely different. One has the real world places, the other one has fake made up one. The other one is a complete gag one, where the other one's more serious. The other one has literally the sun with a fucking smiling face on it and nonsensical stuff, whereas the other one does not have that. It's more realistic when it comes to that. So they're two completely different things. So no, they're not the same. And then about Toribot, he has been shown in the manga. I think he's been shown a little bit like Easter eggs in the anime, but once again, this is for jokes. If you read the Dragon Ball the Dragon Ball Z portion of the Dragon Ball manga, there was a part where they get into the Buu saga, and they actually make a joke and they're breaking the fourth wall and looking at the camera. That wasn't in the anime, but it was in the manga. They broke the fourth wall, and those are just for joke scenes. So whenever we see Toribot, it's not to be serious. It's just it's in the anime. It's more like it's a little cameo to what's shown in the manga. And the manga, those are nonsensical parts of the manga. Those are just to be jokes and not to be taken serious. So is Toribot canon? No. Could he be canon? Yeah, but he's not canon. Right now, Zeno would be considered the strongest, though I do think the way they handled his power is dumb. He should have not had. There should not be a doppelganger of him. He should not be struggling to see a fight between people like Dispo and Goku. So I don't agree with that, but I think no offense to to Nuclear Waste, but you're wrong on this. First, Arale was not in Dragon Ball Z. She was only in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Super. The Dragon Ball Heroes does not matter because it's not canon at all. The card games also doesn't count. Like I said, their universes has too many differences for it to make sense. Even if they did have shown them in there and had a cameo in there. Also, like their cosmology is also different. What's the thing also? Toribot has never been stated or actually confirmed to be canon just because he's shown in the manga. They're just goofing around. It's nothing to be taken too serious. Zeno at this point is still considered to be the strongest, but I do think it's kind of BS the way they handled his power. And for like I said in the beginning of the video, his talk about Trunks and Silver thing, like I stated, the Chaos Emerald is not a part of their power set, just like the Infinity Gauntlet is not a part of Thanos' power set. Is just something that he can use, and multiple people have used. It's not really their power, it's the Chaos Emerald's power. And it's not the same as comparing the Speed Force, because the Speed Force it's connected to multiple people, but literally each one of them uses their own power. It's literally connected to their own power system, whereas that is an outsourced thing. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for next time.